Hi guys, my name's Chance, and for my discussion this week, I chose the book Germs Are Not for Sharing. This book was written by Elizabeth Verdick and illustrated by Marika Henlin. This book is part of a series known as Free Spirit's Best Behavior series. Among this series are 5 other books, 6 if you include this one, but the 5 other books are Tails Are Not for Pulling, Teeth Are Not for Biting, Feet Are Not for Kicking, Words Are Not for Hurting, and Hands Are Not for Hitting. And all these books, as you can probably tell by the title, try and teach children how to have proper manners and just basic knowledge about having good behavior. So, Germs Are Not for Sharing is a book all about how to try and stay clean and avoid the spread of germs. Most of it is basic knowledge that personally I remember learning in preschool or kindergarten. Just for like little signs all over the classroom and stuff like that. I remember seeing those and having some of the tips that I read in the book also on there. So it is for your very young kids, and I believe it is helpful because it will stay in their minds, like because I remembered things like that as well. Although it is for kids, I think a lot of it could be useful for adults as well. There is a section called Grown-ups and Kids Can Read This Together. And at first, when I saw this, I thought it was kind of just because at that point in the book, it turns to paragraphs rather than just short, choppy sentences that are easy to read. It turns to paragraphs, which might be a little bit more difficult for a child to read on their own. So at first, I just thought that's why they wanted they suggested that adults could read this with their children. But as I read on, I realized that a lot of these things are could be useful for adults as well. Things, that we all have learned in our lives, but we just kind of forgot. I know I've forgotten to do a lot of these things as I've grown older that are just basic knowledge that I should do every day, but I find myself slacking off on a lot of them. The book includes tips such as covering your mouth, how long to wash your hands, when to wash your hands, and things like that. So in a certain section it had 10 times to wash your hands. And it was like after petting your dog, whenever they're dirty, before and after eating, and a ton of others. The illustrations in this book are really the only fictional element. Everything else is pretty much non-fictional. The only reason I say that these are fictional is the author depicts the germs as having human-like characteristics. Has eyes, a nose, a mouth, smiles, frowns. It shows emotion, which obviously we know germs don't do. So that's pretty much the only unrealistic part of the book, is giving inanimate objects and germs human-like characteristics. The book, for the most part, is very easy to read, and the illustrations help bring the book together wonderfully to give the children a complete understanding of how germs are dangerous and how to prevent the spread of them, and also how to prevent receiving them from others. So a lot of them is about spreading them, but it also tells you how to be safe and precautionary when avoiding receiving germs from other people that might be spreading them. At the very end of the book, it gives a website URL, and the website URL is www.scrubclub.org. And I went on and I checked it out, the website, and from what it looked like it would be very useful for kids to continue learning about germs. It is an interactive website that is easy and fun for children to use. They had games and songs and other interactive things that children can use to continue to expand their knowledge on germs. So overall, I think this book was very informative for children, especially. It helps get them on the right track to learn those basic behavior rules and just act the correct way when worrying about germs and stuff like that. So yeah, thank you.